Washington State on the Palouse, approaching kickoff at Giesa Field and Martin Stadium. We mentioned the thriller the last time Cal won in Pullman. We go back to 2014.
Halliday, Goff, two great arms meeting. We've got it all tonight. Washington State, Cal Bears next.
Halliday on first down, looking for the bundle, has a man under it. Bailey with a catch. He's going to go! Getting deep into the backfield and into the end zone is Trevor Davis. Arcs a pass to a man wide open. Touchdown, Washington State. Running it back is Trevor Davis. All the way back. Can he do it again? Unwinding is Davis. Davis has done it again. Halliday, quick throw. There's a response, and that is a terrific catch. Davis gallops into the end zone. Touchdown, California. And the kick is no good.
And at the end, of course, a dramatic win.
Just a wild night in Pullman back in 2014. Look at the quarterback numbers. Connor Halliday throwing for 734 yards and 6 touchdowns. And Jared Goff had a great game. 200 yards plus fewer than Connor Halliday in his 5 touchdowns. What a memorable ball game that was here in 2014. Coming up, Cal and Washington State, a couple of teams looking to go to 4-1 here this afternoon. We'll kick it next on the Palouse. Let's take a look at our director's mortgage game plan for this one. Link, what do you see?
Well, Roxy, every offense wants to establish a run. In this case for Cal, you want to run so you can set up the pass. What the run is going to do by having a potent weapon like Jaden Ott, it's going to force those safeties of Wazoo to play closer in the box. Therefore, you can take some strikes down the field. And as far as every quarterback wants to be protected so he can stand upright, that's how special that is to protect the quarterback. For Wazoo, very similar. They want to run the football. And they also want to have first down offensive production, because that sets up second and third manageable situations for your offense.
A couple of defensive-minded head coaches with Justin Wilcox on the Cal sideline. Jake Dickert, his first full season as the Washington State head coach. So Cal 3-1, won their conference opener against Arizona last week as Maven Anderson back to return the kickoff. And the Cougars will kick it off. Washington State 3-1, but dropped their conference opener heartbreaking fashion last week right here to Oregon. Colton Thieker kicking off. And the sophomore from Arroyo Grande, California, launches this one. Maven Anderson watches it sail over his head, and will come out to the 25 for the Cal offense. And Jack Plummer, the grad transfer from Purdue, thrown for nearly 1,000 yards in his first 4 games with Cal.
He's looked pretty solid, especially recently. Better control of the offense, understanding the offense, has been a pretty good game manager. Had a big win last weekend down in Tucson.
There is Plummer. His younger brother Will, of course, on Jed Fish's team at Arizona. And for Jack Plummer, he's had 245 plus in 3 of the first 4 games. Jaden Ott, the Pac-12 Player of the Week, and running back for Cal, and first down for the 25. And there is Ott behind the left side, cuts it back and picks up about 7, brought down by Christian Mejia. So a good first down play behind this revamped offensive line.
Good sign for Cal's offense. Again, use the run to set up the pass. That's great production on the first down series, getting those 7 yards as you mentioned. Now Wazoo has to make some adjustments and try to figure out where Cal's going to attack them next.
7 yards for the Pac-12 rushing leader, Jaden Ott. 2 tight ends for Jack Plummer on 2nd down and 3. 4 up front for Washington State. And again, this is Jaden Ott trying to bounce it to the outside. He is spun down. Good surge by Francisco Mauingoa for Washington State. He had the 95-yard pick 6 last week for the Cougars and makes a nice play knifing through to make a 3rd down. And this is the revamped offensive line. What did you see from this group, Lincoln, last week?
You know, last week I approved the adjustments because they became a lot more aggressive by instilling the young freshman in. We'll talk more about it later.
There is the young freshman, Jaden Ott, who gets the first down, run out of bounds by Dayon Henley, one of the top defenders in the league.
And Siope was moved in last week at left guard. And the coaching staff likes his aggressiveness. They like the fact that he's a nasty guy, what we call a road grader, someone who wants to push people around. And I don't think they had that sort of aggressive tenacity with their run game prior to making those moves.
Plus flipping Matt Cindric and Brian Driscoll on the interior.
Yeah, Cindric is one that I'm going to be paying particularly close attention to because I think he has an opportunity to play on Sundays.
From the 40, first down for California. The pitch to Jaden Ott. Cuts it back inside and driving forward, picks up a yard, maybe two. Another good surge by Washington State. The Cougars defense, Lincoln, you and I were here a couple of weeks ago when they throttled Colorado State. This is an aggressive, quick defense. They lead the country in tackles for loss this season.
It's a downhill attacking defense, but once you get back there, just like Mauga was, you've got to make sure you make the tackles, because you track a running back down in the backfield, you got to corral until you get some help. But of course, the tackle for loss is much better than even a 2-yard gain.
Second down and 9. Jermaine Terry, the tight end, motions. On the move out, Jack Plummer toward the sideline. On the run, pushed out of bounds. J. Michael Sturdivant across midfield, and Cal gets into Washington State territory with a first down.
I thought Jack Plummer actually missed this throw. It looked like he was throwing a little far over his head, but was able to pull it in and get the first down. Yards after the catch are big when it comes against this Cougars defense.
Plummer now 2 for 2. Anderson motions from right to left. Throwing on first down, and that's the catch by Jermaine Terry, just his second catch of the season for the sophomore tight end for maybe a half a yard. These two teams, and you look at the numbers as far as scoring offense and defense, look how identical they are. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. You don't typically see that. Two teams, especially in the same conference.
Second down and 10. Here come the Cougars with a blitz. Plummer taking a deep shot. Blitz picked up down the sideline. Adjusting. Did he hang on? No. Jeremiah Hunter, the intended target, could not stay in bounds. Covered by Derek Langford Jr.
Let's take a look at Jeremiah's feet and Hunter. So as he comes down, that's a good call by the ref. He is out of bounds. Tries to get that toe in before, but it's just a little bit out of bounds.
Michael Mothershed is our referee, and his crew working this one. 3rd and 10 for California.
You know, I'm not mad at Jack for taking the shot. He had on one-on-one coverage with Hunter on a wheel route. Just got to do a little bit better job. Now it makes this 3rd down that much more challenging. It's early, but we might be in 4th down territory.
Play clock winding down. Cougars back off. Plummer toward the sideline, and he is spun out of bounds. Nice hustle right there from Washington State defensively, and Nusi Milani forced Plummer out, and it's 4th and 5 at the Cougars 41.
That was good coverage by the Cougars on the back end. They did bring a little bit of a blitz. It looks like they're going to end up punting away, try to push Washington State closer to the end zone, back them up a little bit. But, you know, good coverage on the back end by the Cougars. Not really a place for Jack Plummer to go with the football. He got as much as he could and got him out of bounds.
Jamison Sheehan, the punter for Cal. He's averaging 47.5 yards a blast. Robert Farrell back to return, standing on the Cougars 10. The Aussie Sheehan. And that's a delay game. Cal wanting probably a little bit more runway here for Sheehan to get the punt off in terms of how much room he has at the back end.
Now, also, you want to make sure you get the protection right, because you don't know if Wazoo's going to bring a block. I saw the punter try to adjust the up back to where he might be able to be the most assistant.
Delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
You want to make sure you get it right. Plus, the 5 yards backing up don't help. Usually, coaches decline it if they can. You know, I don't want it to be backed up.
There's Farrell back to return. So Washington State did take the penalty, and there was a penalty marker down, and Cal moved early.
Full start, number 32, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
And again, that's not the worst thing in the world for Cal, because again, it gives Sheehan a little bit more room. And keep in mind, he averages 47.5 yards a punt.
Please reset the game clock to 10:34. 10:34. Thank you.
They get the clock right. I was just about to mention that with such a strong foot punter, You know, it might be good to back him up and let it get a little more hang time on this ball.
And plus, we are at elevation here at about 2,800 feet in Pullman. As Sheehan, end over end. Farrell calling for a fair catch, and he makes it inside the 15. And the Cougars backed up. They get the football for the first time, scoreless on the Palouse. Cameron Ward and the Cougars offense about to go to work, and the transfer from Incarnate Word has been off to a really good start, especially linking the last couple of weeks with his Cougar offense.
Well, the fact when you come from an offense that you're familiar with, even though you're part of the transfer portal, your coach comes with you, it really is a nice transition for him and Wazoo here. This offense has been effective, especially getting in touchdowns. They are really good at that.
Last year, he was a second-team All-American at the FCS level and throwing for 375 yards. At a high completion rate against Oregon last week for Cameron Ward. On first down from the Cougars 14 to Robert Farrell, his teammate from Incarnate Word. The two of them came to Pullman together. They connect for a terrific first down completion.
And that's working the cover two. You have a high safety and a low defensive back. The corner route is going to be open in that in-between area.
18 yards now, Nakia Watson the handoff, and he is knocked backward for a loss. Colin Gamble, the nickelback for Cal, with a tackle for loss to put Washington State behind the chains.
You know, Ross, we've done a couple of games with these Cougars, and we've seen the efficiency they could have throwing the football. We've actually seen there have been times when they've been able to run out the clock and have a little bit more of a running game. But we also know they want more. They want more out of the run game. Want to be able to establish a presence up front, especially with their big guys.
That's something that Eric Morris, the Cougars offensive coordinator, really leaned on us with yesterday, is we have to establish the run. Ward on the rollout to the sideline. Penalty marker down to the backfield as the catch is made. And there's a late penalty marker that came in after the play on the Cougars sideline as Donovan Ollie with a catch for Washington State.
You know, usually in the realm of the backfield, it's holding against the offense. But I think Ollie went out of bounds and came back in. Didn't establish himself when he was the first one to touch that football as well.
That would be illegal touching if that's the case.
There are 2 fouls on the offense. Illegal touching, number 6. That penalty is declined. Holding, number 66. That 10-yard penalty will be enforced. Still second down.
Let's take a look at the replay, see if we can see the holding. There you see right there, 66 at the top of your screen. And the reason why he's called holding, as he's going out of, or throwing the ball, you see Ollie steps out of bounds, but Sermon was on the rush of 56 and he got held up, and that's why the ref was an easy flag from the throw.
So the hold was on the right tackle, Maake Fafita, and that backs Washington State up to their 19-yard line. 2nd and 23, and they'll run it. Sidestepping a Cal defender, and out to the 25 goes Watson to bring up 3rd and about 17 now. A pickup of 6 for Washington State. Ethan Saunders, the tackle for Cal.
Now this is no easy way for an offensive coordinator to call this play, try to get the first down. You want to make sure you're going to do something safe. Most teams like to either run a screen or a draw, a safe play to try to get some yards upfield. But this you're looking at as a series that you're probably going to move on from.
Cal has the #1 3rd down defense in the Pac-12. As Cal's defense allowing just 27% on 3rd down and have allowed just 7 of the last 34 attempts to convert a 3rd down against them. Cam Ward, here comes the pressure off the edge, escapes Miles Jernigan. Throws to the sideline, coming back, the catch is made, fighting for extra yardage and rustled out of bounds as Dejon Stribling for Washington State. Just a bit shy of the first down. Isaiah Young in coverage, and the Cougars hurrying. They're going to go for this on 4th and short on their own 41. Nearly got Cal to jump across as Nate Burrell, the freshman, nearly moved across.
Gutsy call here. Gutsy call if they go.
Cam Ward and the handoff. And Russell down. No, Ward keeps it. He's got a first down. Great fake, and Ward escapes around the left side. First down, Washington State.
And Ward was smart, not only protecting himself by getting down the RPO run pass option, but he made sure he started his slide after he passed the first down marker. You remember, when you start sliding the quarterback, they go back to where you start your slide. Ward was smart to make sure he got enough for the yardage. Gutsy call still.
Jalen Jenkins, the freshman, in a running back. For the 43, Ward runs for 2 on 4th and 1. Andre Dollar motions. Here is Ward hanging in the pocket, throws to the sideline, and he missed his target trying to get it to Renard Bell.
Oh, Ward had him on the corner route, coming open on the sideline. Just mistimed it. It wasn't as accurate a throw as he would have wanted, but he had it. You see his motion, it just comes up a little bit short.
Second down 10 for the Cougs at their own 43. Just past the midway point of the opening quarter. And they'll run it straight ahead, and Jalen Jenkins goes nowhere. He's bottled up and driven backward.
Just a wall of white shirts right now. Crimson and Gray didn't really get much of a push on that last play at all.
Xavier Carlton, the Utah transfer, the first one there for California.
And you see here the stat. They've been better in the big plays, and we remember the last time we did the game against Colorado State, how the coaching staff made mention it, how they wanted to have more of them. They had a big game that day against Colorado State, trying to still build on that as the year progresses.
Trying to stretch the field and go downfield if they can. Third down, Cam Ward slings it underneath and to the outside, and good tackle in space by Colin Gamble for Cal as he throws down.
I'm really surprised Cam Ward didn't go with the first crossing route of Renard Bell.
It's Jalen Jenkins underneath, and the freshman out of the backfield, just his 5th catch of the year. Jeremiah Hunter back to return Nick Haberer's punt. As Haberer standing around his 30, averaging over 42 yards a blast for the Aussie. Yes, both squads and most teams really have an Australian-born punter. And he hesitated, now launches this one. Hunter lets it bounce inside the 5, and the Cougars down it. Cal backed up, a great punt by Haberer. Deion Henley pins California back after a 49-yard punt.
This might be the difference maker. You watch the punter celebrate. Special teams can really come alive if they have their opportunity.
We talked about these two teams, how similar they are in points scored and given up so far this year. And we're scoreless, just over 6 minutes to go in the first quarter in Pullman. And the mirror images continue, and it doesn't stop there. Jack Plummer, Cal's quarterback. Cameron Ward, Washington State's quarterback.
So you got to really watch yourself that time, and they're really backed up. This makes it hard. Let's see if Washington State brings a blitz.
That was J. Michael Sturdivant, not Jeremiah Hunter. 3rd and 9. Empty backfield for Plummer from his end zone. He gets hit, driving 40, escapes the safety. Pressure off the edge, and the Cougars get to the Cal quarterback.
Not sure how he got out of the end zone. I thought he was dead to rights. Call back there. Jack's getting up, Plummer's getting up a little shaky. But watch off to the right of your screen.
Quinn Roth.
Quinn Roth comes right around the right tackle. That's TJ Session. Nice move by Roth. It's called an outside rip.
Sheehan will punt from the back of the Cal end zone. Robert Farrell, the returner for the Cougars at midfield. And Sheehan gets it away. Farrell will have space to run. Farrell to the 40. At the 35, reverses field and goes backward and lost some yardage. But still, Washington State with outstanding field position will begin this drive. On the plus side of the field, they flip the field, and now the Cougars, golden opportunity. All right, Mark, scoreless, 4:26 to go. The Cougars, after Cal was backed up in a punt and Robert Farrell's return to the Cal 40. And on first down, a little trickery. They flip it, trying to sweep around the left side. Penalty marker is down. Cal was ready for it. And strung out nicely by the safety, Craig Woodson, as Leighton Smithson trying to run around the outside. And the Cougars guilty of holding.
10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Roxy, the safety, Craig Woodson, number 21, at the bottom of your screen, gets by the block of Stribling, then gets outside, and that's where actually the holding was called, right there on the outside, Deshaun Stribling.
So the receiver Stribling, who grabbed Colin Gamble. Now it's 1st and 20 at the midfield line for Washington State. Second holding call already against the Cougars. On first down, they'll run at Nikhil Watson, the Wisconsin transfer, had a couple of touchdowns in that huge win in Madison for Washington State. Russell down by Nate Burrell, the true freshman from LA.
And Wazoo wants to run a lot of spread formations, for multiple receiver formations, to try to thin out the box to possibly open up those running lanes.
On second down, Ward, plenty of time to the outside. Coming back for it is Farrell, and he is slammed down by Colin Gamble. Short of the original line of scrimmage when this possession started. 3rd and 12 for Washington State.
So far, the Bears are doing a good job with their safety play, keeping everything in front of them along these deep routes. Not getting a whole lot of pressure on Ward, but not giving up the big play. You much rather give those little small chunks because they don't hurt you as much in the end.
Seems like a lot of the too high look that Wisconsin did to Washington State.
Very true. That's exactly right.
3rd and 12 for the Cougars. Cam Ward under pressure, escapes Xavier Carlton, then runs into the freshman Burrell. The sack back across midfield. Rather, that was Ethan Saunders, not Burrell. It was 99 instead of 98 on the sack. And it's 4th down, and the Cougars can't take advantage of the short field.
You've got every defensive coordinator's dream when you can just rush 4 and generate enough pressure to make a quarterback start looking down at the rush rather than looking downfield. There's one man miss. Here comes another one. They finally get him down.
Nick Haber will try to pin Cal back again. Jeremiah Hunter standing inside the California 10. High end over end, fair catch coming up. And at the 15, it's grabbed by Jeremiah Hunter. And Cal pinned back inside the 20 after a 37-yard punt. And the Cougs defense nearly got on the scoreboard.
Well, you know, the Cougs defense was right there for a sack. You see, go right. You have Ruff go around the outside tackle. Normally brings him down, almost brings him down. I was surprised Jack was able to get out of the end zone. Coverage downfield, nowhere to go with the football. Jack has to look at the rush. And boy, he almost got a sack. He was able to fortunately get out of there. They were punted. No harm, no foul.
Our beefy moment presented by Old Trapper. Cal with a heavy look from their own 15. And they'll run it on first down, and Jaden Ott fights his way for 4. David Gusta in on the tackle for Washington State. As you look at the most sacks by team, and the Cougars second to Washington. The Cougars already have 1 today. And again, keep in mind, they lead the country in tackles for loss coming into today.
You know, one of the guys we were focusing on this season, just collectively, other than the defense, was Ron Stone, number 10. You see Quentin Ruff right there, who got the pressure and the sack earlier, almost had the safety. But this Washington State defense knows how to get after people. They know how to rush the quarterback and really generate pressure with not having to blitz a whole lot.
2nd and 6, stumbling coming out from behind center. Plummer goes down. That's a loss for Cal.
Did his foot get stepped on? He got up limping a little bit initially. Let's take a look at the replay and see. Oh, the guard is pulling.
It was the center, Driscoll.
Center.
Brian
Somebody
Driscoll.
was trying to get out of there and was pulling around, accidentally stepped on his foot.
Loss of 2, 3rd and 8 for Cal. Final minute of this first quarter as Justin Wilcox and the Bears 1 for 3 so far on 3rd down. Cougars back off. Plummer climbs the pocket, dumps it off underneath Jaden Ott, and he is wrestled down at the 20. Washington State ready for it. Jaden Hicks, who's starting in place of the injured Jordan Lee, to safety coming up with a critical stop, and another 3 and out for Cal. The Cougars defense, 2nd straight 3 and out.
Roxy, the Bears were trying for full max protection. They kept the tight end in, they kept the back in. Jaden Ott, that's who was able to slip out for a little check down route. the remaining 3 eligible receivers going out have to win their routes. Wazoo did a good job of covering him up and taking away from Plummer.
Inside the Cal 10, Sheehan. But Cal will wait till the second quarter to punt it away. Scoreless through 1 in Pullman.
That's the
Cal
end of
and
the
Washington
first quarter.
State. The Bears trying to go to 4-1. We match the best start under Justin Wilcox. The Cougs trying to go to 4-1 for the first time since 2018. Pac-12 football is brought to you by Angie. Angie's List is now Angie. To tackle home projects big and small, download the app today. Jockey, the official apparel and comfort brand of the Pac-12 Conference. Look for Jockey's Made in America collection at jockey.com. And by Allegiant Air, non-stop life. A couple of greats there, Russell White, Ruben Mays. A couple of great running backs from Cal and Washington State past. As we start the second quarter, scoreless in Pullman with Lincoln Kennedy. And our Pac-12 Network crew, Roxy Bernstein with you. Cal getting set to punt it for a third time is Jamison Sheehan. Inside the Cal 10, Robert Farrell, the returner for Washington State, standing at the Cougars 35. And Sheehan, Farrell backpedaling. And here comes Farrell with a seam up the middle. Farrell breaks a tackle. Penalty marker is down. He's into Cal territory as Elijah Maharo had his helmet knocked off, one of the punt cover guys for Cal, and the penalty marker is near where Farrell was tackled if it stands at 29-yard return by Farrell.
Personal foul. Number 81, kicking team, lost his helmet during the down and continued to participate during the play. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the play. First down.
Well, how's a personal foul? He's just a hustle guy. He's a tough guy. He didn't want to use a helmet.
Player safety, Lincoln.
No, player safety. I was just thinking of that, the fact that he went in there and got involved in the tackle without a helmet, I thought was pretty noteworthy.
So after the return and the penalty, the Cougars start this drive in the red zone. They're at the Cal 20-yard line. Just getting going second quarter as Cameron Ward and his Cougar offense for the second consecutive drive starting in Cal territory. This a little deeper than the previous one. Jalen Jenkins, the running back. Ward, and the quick hit goes to Renard Bell, who's driven backward by Daniel Scott.
Good open field tackle by Scott coming up really quickly. And good recognition by Cam Ward, you know, realizing that they had a safety off. You're just trying to get the ball to Bell, see if he can make a move in space.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5, as Ward is now 5 for 6.
We mentioned at the top of the broadcast how efficient the Cougars are in the red zone. This is red zone. We'll see if Cal Bear can tighten up. The defense can tighten up.
#1 red zone team in the Pac-12, and unconventional arm angle for the screen. And shy of a first down as Jackson Sermon brings down Jalen Jenkins. It's 3rd and short for Washington State.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I think the Cal Bears defense was kind of expecting maybe a little underneath throw. They didn't have as many guys who were pressuring Cam Ward. You mentioned the sidearm throw that he got out there, but Sermon did a good job at getting by the blockers, would-be blockers, to making a tackle.
All the arm angles, the athleticism from Ward.
Yeah.
Peter Sermon, Cal's defensive coordinator, made the comparison to like a Gold Glove shortstop around the bag and turning a double play. That's what it's like to slow down Ward. First down and maybe more as Farrell's brought down, 1st and goal Cougs. Jeremiah Irby on the tackle of Farrell as the Cougars are inside the 5.
You're not going to slow down Ward in this offense if you don't do a better job at disguising your defense. Right there, Ward figured out pretty quickly the Bears were in man.
And they go quickly. And the handoff, breaking tackles, touchdown Washington State. Jalen Jenkins, the freshman, his first career rushing touchdown.
You know, Roxy, I want to say it was Darius Long, I think, who initially got in there for the Cal Bears and looked like he had a tackle in the backfield, but couldn't bring him down. As you take a look at the replay here, we'll see a Cal Bear getting, somebody missed the number. I know Sermon was in there, Jackson Sermon. But Jenkins still finds a way to score.
True freshman from Allen, Texas. And the Cougars strike first here early in the second quarter. Just a 20-yard drive set up by the Farrell return. And the personal foul penalty against Cal, and Dean Janikowski nails the extra point, and Washington State capitalizes. Jalen Jenkins takes it in.
I love it when you run between the tackles. Might have a little mix up on the handoff, but still the efficiency of the running back. Jenkins gets a touchdown. Cougars on the board.
It's empty for Jack Plummer. Pocket holds up down the sideline for Maven Anderson. Incomplete. Stride for stride with him, Armani Marsh of Washington State.
Good coverage downfield. Wasn't open, nowhere to go with the football. Plummer just wanted to take a shot down the field on the deep route. You know, when you go empty, Roxy, you really got to find the mismatch, whether it's a back on a safety or a back on a linebacker or a wide receiver on a safety. You got to find a mismatch to take advantage of it.
Second down and 10. And they'll run it with Jaden Ott, trying to skip it to the outside, cuts it back. And a gang of Cougars forces him out to the 30 as they'll jump on his back. Quinn Roth, the first man there, and he had a lot of help for Washington State. It's 3rd and 5.
You know, I know it's early, but let's take a look at the Wazoo defense. They slant, and they're very active up front. One of the things that they had so much success with against Wisconsin is that their defensive line really outquicked the Badgers' offensive front. They're trying to do the same thing here against Cal Bears.
Cougars showing blitz on 3rd and 5. Cal's gone 3 and out in each of their last 2 possessions. They need a first down here.
Zero coverage, zero high. Let's see if Wazoo backs out of it. No safety in the middle of the field. They're dropping.
Pressure off the edge, gets to Plummer, just got rid of it in time. And out near midfield, cutting it back, J. Michael Sturdivant. Sturdivant inside the 40, shoved out of bounds by Sam Lockett. And a critical 3rd down completion. And Cal gets into Washington State territory.
Roxy, Jack Plummer took a shot as he got rid of that ball, as you mentioned, right at the right time. You have that internal clock if you're a quarterback. There goes the hit to find Sturdivant right now, and of course he does the rest with his legs in the open field.
33 yards to the redshirt freshman from Flower Mound, Texas. And Sturdivant moving inside the Cougars 40. Jaden Ott slants through the line. Ott with a burst. First down and more inside the 25. Another tackle by Lockett, the junior from Spokane. But the Pac-12's leading rusher moves the sticks for Cal.
Good blocking by the big boys up front. You're going to watch pull the center, your right guard. And then Jaden Ott does everything else when he gets on the perimeter. You got to have contained, force that ball back inside. If not, it's just plenty of daylight and plenty of green grass.
13 yards for Ott. And just watching him, Lincoln, the first 4 games of the year and into today, he just looks different.
And he doesn't look like a true freshman to me. You know what I mean? You talk about a guy, and Cal's got a rich, long history of great running backs. He's picking up a lot of the slack.
Bubble screen for Sturdivant. Dances, and it gets clobbered. Racing over for Washington State, Andrew Edson levels J. Michael Sturdivant, a loss of a yard. So here are the most yards ever in a game. And the interesting thing for me, they all begin with J. Javid Best at 311. That's the record against Washington back in 2008. And Cal has had some brilliant running backs, as you mentioned, over the years. Here is Ott, and he's trying to drag Travion Brown with him. And a short gain to bring up 3rd down. And I know last week on Pac-12 After Dark, Shane Vereen was ready to give credit. And look, Jaden Ott's better than I am. Shane's selling him himself a little short. Now, could Ott get there? I believe he could. But Shane Vereen had a terrific NFL career, won a Super Bowl. Shane, buddy, come on. Stick out your chest a little bit. We're pretty good.
It's called being humble, Roxy. Passing the torch.
Good protection for Jack Plummer. And he goes underneath. It's Ott with the catch, and there's nowhere to go. And the Cougars smother him. Jaden Hicks there for Washington State, along with Amir Mujahid. And it's 4th down, and Justin Wilcox will send the field goal unit out.
Now there's some instances right there during that drive where I thought Jaden Ott might have deserved or earned a little bit of a break. instead of being in there. And of course, you take the check down because there's nothing available downfield. But you know, when this young man's going to have a bright future, got to know when to spell him to keep him as fresh as possible.
Dario Longhetto, a 42-yard try. Has plenty of leg behind this one, and it is good, and Cal is on the board. And for Longhetto, his longest field goal of the season. He is now 6 for 8, and Cal's got some points.
Cal gets on the board after a nice long drive. The answer.
Homecoming weekend, it's the 25th anniversary of the 1997 Washington State team that ended a long drought, getting the Cougars back to the Rose Bowl. They went and played Charles Woodson in Michigan in the 98 Rose Bowl in a thrilling game that came down to the wire. Controversial ending, but that was the team that ended the drought. It had been since 1931. The Cougars had not played in the Rose Bowl. Our buddy Ryan Leaf, there's Mike Price, the head coach. Steve Gleason, a legendary figure, was on that Washington State team, as well as a good buddy of mine who was one of Ryan Leaf's receivers, Chris Jackson, who had a brilliant Washington State career. And so great to see that team honored here. Just during the timeout, they raised the flag here in the north end of the stadium as a kickoff will be a touchback from the freshman Michael Luckhurst. And out to the 25 for Washington State. Pac-12 football is brought to you by Fanaply, the official NFT collection of the Pac-12. Visit pac-12nft.com for details. So Cam Ward now 7 for 8. 59 yards passing, the touchdown, first career rushing game.
Yeah, they've had a number of guys that have taken that step forward, the progression forward, helping to make this defense a difference maker.
Quick hit, ball stripped out in space. They're going to say an incomplete pass. As hustling out there, Craig Woodson, who is a high school teammate, by the way, of Miles Jernigan. Those two are as thick as can be.
Let's take a look at the replay. You see the pass off from Ward.
That's a good call.
That's a good call. It's a good call.
Dejon Stribling never had it. Cougs 1 for 4 on third down. It's 3rd and 10 at their own 25. Cal with some extra pass rushers on the field. Little light up front. One with the speedy unit here in 3rd and long against Cam Ward in Washington State. Cal brings 4. Ward to the outside and a bullet rifled for a first down. On 3rd and 10, Ward finds Lincoln Victor, first down Cougs, and they hurry to the football.
Another person that coaches are speaking highly of is getting Lincoln Victor more involved in the offense, especially from the outside. And if you're Irby, who was making actually Higgins who made that play, there's nothing really you can do. It's just a good timing route, nice delivery by Ward.
And they're playing Victor on the outside now, trying to take advantage of that speed as Xavier Carlton in the face of Cam Ward, who completes it into Cal territory. Renard Bell with the catch, and the 7th-year senior. Cougars on the move.
A little bit of a rollout to get Ward out of the pocket, and a nice delivery. Wide open to Bell.
Beautiful touch.
Was a great touch.
Gain of 19 to the Cal 43. And that's a forward pass on the pitch. And trying to bounce it to the outside, turning it back. Nowhere to go. And Cal smothering. Renard Bell for a loss on the play. The Golden Bears were ready for it. Lamagia Hearns, who was a little dinged up against Arizona last week, but was ready to go today, will get credit. But a defense that stayed home for Peter Sirmon.
Good awareness. Good awareness by the Bears defense that time, recognizing the jet sweep from the motion. And as you mentioned, staying home, not being fooled by it. Was really rallied by a number of white jerseys to the tackle.
Loss of 3. Empty backfield for Cameron Ward. Good protection. And it goes off the hands, incomplete. And a big hit is Colin Campbell coming up. And looking back for the football, unable to hang on, was Jalen Jenkins.
I don't even think Jenkins was prepared for that football the way it came out. Nice little dime. Well, actually was behind him. Cam Ward's got to save his running back. there's a linebacker sitting right in that area or a safety in that area, you got to make sure you either throw him open or Jenkins has to stop his route running when he recognizes zone versus man.
Ward has converted a couple of 3rd and longs already. 3rd and 13. Over the middle, it's caught. Another 3rd and long completion. Cameron Ward to Leighton Smithson. Inside the 30, first down, Washington State.
This is what you're supposed to do, young quarterbacks, when you're playing against this style of defense, which is the cover 2. You've got a flat route, you've got a hook route. When the cover 2 safety falls back, you got to throw the hook route right on time, and that's what Cam Ward did on that last play to convert that first down.
At the California 29, Robert Farrell motions for the Cougs. Ward, good protection, looking for the end zone, and it's intercepted. Daniel Scott, the safety, playing over the middle. And for the 2nd consecutive week, Daniel Scott an interception, his 6th career. And the Cougars, that's been the bugaboo for Washington State. Turnovers have been a problem.
When you have a center fielder, you got to be aware. This corner cannot do this. If you're Cameron Ward, that's why it's an interception for the Bears.
We mentioned, Lincoln, turnovers have been a problem for Washington State as the Cougars, that is the 11th giveaway they've had this season in the first 5 games. In fact, Washington State has had at least 2 turnovers in each of their first 4 games.
And this is just something Cam Ward knows better. He's sitting in the backfield, not pressured at all. You have to realize the first thing you recognize as a quarterback where the safeties are. There's number 32 sitting right in the middle of your screen, Daniel Scott. This ball cannot be thrown there. It's not. Even if the receiver goes up, you don't want to put a 50-50 ball when you're trying to score. So Cam Ward knows better than this. This is a mistake I know he wishes he could have back.
So Washington State, 3 of their 4 drives today have gone into Cal territory. 2 of them began in Cal territory. And the Cougars only have 7 points out of it. Jack Plummer complete. Jeremiah Hunter, the short pickup. Good tackle on the outside by Shaw Smith-Wade for Washington State.
See if anything, if the Cal Bears can get some tempo going with their offense. You see they're hurrying up right now.
Second and 7. And the handoff, Jaden Ott. Quinn Roth not fooled, gets help from Armani Marsh and the rest of the Cougars front defensively to force 3rd and long for Cal.
Well, here's the thing, if you're Jack Plummer, you notice that the strength of your formation is your tight ends to the right, but there's nobody who's going to block on the left-hand side, the outside end of Quinn Roth. He's unblocked. This run play is dead. You got to go somewhere else. Got to go somewhere else with the football.
So much focus, and deservedly, for Deion Henley, how well he's played this year. But you talk to the Washington State coaches, defensive coordinator Brian Ward, the Cal coaches, they see what Armani Marsh does and how vital he is for this Washington State defense. He's come up big so far early in this game. Plummer moves up. Over the middle, near midfield, the catch. Kaleki Latu squeezes into Washington State territory. First down Cal, a 3rd down conversion for Jack Plummer.
Nice little skinny posts. That time you see the rush is picked up. Jack Plummer extends the play by using his legs. He goes Latu down on the skinny post. Big chunk of yards, gets in the midfield.
Latu had the go-ahead touchdown catch last week against Arizona that gave Cal the lead for good. Of course, his brother Laiatu Latu was the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Week from UCLA as Plummer gets sacked by the Cougar front. Francisco Mauigoa.
And honestly, Roxy, this sack did not have to happen. If you look at Jack Plummer, he'd get rid of the ball right there. Take the screen. Don't try to hold on to the ball or throw it away because you've got a blitz coming right up the middle. And the Washington State Cougars have more defenders than your guys can block. You're taking a big, huge loss to force a 2nd down long now.
Loss of 11. And Mauigoa now with 2.5 sacks on the year. Of course, his older brother Frederick is standout offensive lineman here in the Mike Leach years for Washington State. And on 2nd and long, pressure coming again, and they smother Jack Plummer. Christian Mejia, his first sack since his child has been born. Last Saturday morning, Jake Dickert got a phone call alerting him that Christian's wife was going into labor. And Jake Dickert told Christian, look, that's more important. We got this for you. You go take care of your family. Go be with your wife. And then Brian Ward, the defensive coordinator, didn't find out until about 9 o'clock that they weren't going to have their starting defensive tackle because of the birth of the child. Is Jamison Sheehan trying to pin Washington State back. Takes a bounce into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20 and a touchback.
That's a very smart play, very heads-up play by Mejia with his wife and family. You want to make sure you're happy.
7-3. A different kind of four-legged friend. We have four-legged mascots, Cougars, Bears. Got some dogs in the house today on the Palouse. Coming up on our Bear halftime report, Ashley, Shane, Greg Camarillo hanging out down in Tucson. Recap of UCLA's win at the Rose Bowl over Washington last night. And the battle in Salt Lake City earlier today as the Utes handle Oregon State. Clark Phillips III, how about that day? And then DTR was brilliant last night for UCLA.
Oh boy, was he. He and the big three for UCLA were a wrecking crew against my Dogs. Well-deserved win. UCLA looked strong.
2:34 left in the half, 7-3 Washington State. Had a combined 6 punts already and just 10 points. And behind the line, Colin Gamble knifing through and gets the tackle for loss on Renard Bell after the down-the-line screen.
You know, Roxy Cam was trying to take advantage of the numbers, but as you mentioned, just diving through is Colin Gamble, knifing through is Colin Gamble, going through the block, picking up the tackle for loss. Great heads-up play by number 21.
Cal's 5th tackle for loss. Movement up front, and Cal jumped across. And that's on Ethan Saunders.
Offside with contact. Number 99 defense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
I'm still amazed. I've been doing this for a while, Roxy, but nose guards or nose tackles that jump off sides when the ball's right in front of you. I'm always asking, what are you looking at? What are you listening for? I mean,
when you got 285 pounds, it's hard to stop.
The ball's right there. Control yourself, young man. Control aggression. You got to wait for it to move.
Second down and 7 for Washington State. Cam Ward deflected at the line and incomplete. 6'2" Cam Ward, again with those unconventional arm angles, tried to rifle that one to the outside.
You see a lot more quarterbacks these days, whether they have baseball experience. And that was Carlton who knocked it down at the line of scrimmage. Big man got his hands up.
Justin Wilcox and Peter Sermon talked to them earlier this week. They both had a feeling this is a game where Carlton really could have a big impact because of the matchup and Carlton's versatility. He's standing up, trying to rush off the edge here on 3rd down and 7. Cameron Ward, pocket collapses on the move, and it's incomplete, trying to get it upfield. Renard Bell covered by the safety, Craig Woodson. And Woodson has really been impressive in recent weeks coming back from that torn ACL.
He really has, and he was beat on this crossing route, but Cam Ward, who stepped in, was just a little bit inaccurate, threw it behind, Bell. If he would have let him, probably would have had some big yards after the catch.
Talking to Craig Woodson earlier this week and asked him about the knee and all the hard work he went through in the rehab, and it was so rewarding. It's like a gift. That was his present coming back, was a pick 6 he had in the opener for Cal against UC Davis. Nick Haber with the punt. And a fair catch, Jeremiah Hunter, and nearly got run into by Monroe Young, but he makes the catch, and Cal left decent field position from their 37-yard line. They have 3 timeouts, 1:47 left in the half. Here are your quarterback numbers today.
Aside from the sacks, it's pretty much identical, right? I'm sure Jack Plummer wants to get a touchdown like Ward has, but I mean, look at that. Pretty close. Opportunity again here for Jack Plummer with this offense. Good field position. You have your whole playbook open for you. Now it's just a matter of execution.
And 107 seconds until halftime. So 2 teams that combined, that scored over 40 points each last week. 7-3 here late in the first half. Maven Anderson motions. Jack Plummer. Pocket holds up, and sliding in the catch shy of midfield right near the marker, a bit short, is Jeremiah Hunter.
Yeah, the clock's going to continue to move because he didn't get a first down. Still plenty of time, especially with 3 timeouts. Middle of the field. See Jack trying to get the play in.
On their own 47. Second and 1 for Cal. Elijah Maharo in motion with his helmet this time.
There you go.
Stepping up Plummer over the middle, and it's through the hands of Maven Anderson, who is cutting across, and he slides into the California bench. Chris Jackson, the Michigan State transfer for Washington State, in coverage.
Well, Plummer feels the pressure on the outside, steps up in the pocket, just got to make a little bit more accurate throw, decides to go with the angle route. You mentioned number 2 Chris Jackson on the defense. Now, this is the manageable situation. I wish there was a little bit more sense of urgency on the Cal Bears part. You see Jack Plummer signaling to the sideline, not necessarily happy with whatever's come in. You got a timeout, a couple of timeouts, you can use it. Looks like you're going to try to get the first down first.
3rd and 1, Jaden Ott hit and dropped, a loss. Deion Henley blasting through for the Cougars.
It's a wasted opportunity. There's no sense to rush it if you don't have to. Does that make sense, Roxy?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, if you're Jack Plummer, it was an incomplete pass, so the clock's not rolling. You want to make sure you get it right. It's important. Now you put that much more pressure on yourself because, you know, you look at Henley with his numbers coming through on that last play, but you talk about now the instance where it's 4th down and 4, and you're backed up. If you miss this, you give Washington State great field position.
So another tackle for loss for the conference leader in tackles for loss, Deion Henley, the Nevada transfer. And it's amazing to think he started his career as a wide receiver.
First charge timeout, California. 30 seconds.
California obviously coming to the sidelines, calling a timeout, 4th down. I believe that since that last play didn't work, they wanted to run time off the clock. Either force Wazoo to use a timeout, which they didn't. Timeout.
Coming up from Tucson, Ash, Shane, Greg standing by with the Bear halftime reports. Game 2 of our triple header still to come tonight from Tucson, Arizona. The Buffs and the Wildcats. Both those teams looking for their first conference win. The Buffs trying to get their first overall win. Nobody's played a tougher schedule in college football this year than Colorado.
Agree.
Look at TCU, Air Force on the road at Minnesota, UCLA. As Sheehan with the punt. And an end over end that bounces sideways and goes out of bounds. And there are 7 seconds left in the first half. And keep in mind, Washington State will receive the second half kickoff.
Yeah, so I kind of expect for them to come out and just kneel down, go into the half with the lead. No need to try to put it in jeopardy or harm's way.
And that is the formation that Washington State looks like they'll line up in. Cameron Ward takes a knee. That'll take us to halftime. We thought we were going to get a lot of points. This is not the game that we expected.
Did not expect it, but you know what? Tip your hat to both defenses playing strong, especially in crunch time.
Well, I guess we do have 2 defensive-minded head coaches with Justin Wilcox and with Jake Dickert.
But you hear the Boo Birds come out because they wanted more offense. And Cam Ward, for what it's worth, had more opportunities to get down in the red zone. Just made a mistake, critical mistake.
Missed opportunities for Washington State. They've had some good possessions, but unable to finish drives for a team that is #1 in the Pac-12 in red zone efficiency coming in. Halftime at Pullman. 7-3 Washington State after the break. The Bear halftime report. Ash, Shane, Greg, and Tucson. Our first half stats presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. The total yards, Washington State 0 rushing yards in the first half. Cal at only 10. Defenses on display here in the first half of this football game. 7-3 Washington State leading California. With the College Football Hall of Famer Lincoln Kennedy, Roxy Bernstein with you. The defenses were good. We saw some good Cam Ward in the first half and then some not so good Cam Ward at times.
Yeah, you know, Cam Ward initially with the first drive did a good job at driving the ball down the field. We're going to show a couple of highlights right now. When you take a look at his accuracy, recognizing the defense, knowing exactly where he wants to go with the football. Nice strike as he delivers Farrell in second level. You see the short and intermediate route. This is what you do against the cover two. You beat the safety to the corner, in the deep corner, and that's a nice completion. Where you also take a look at him using his eyes on a run-pass option. Gets enough for the first down, does a good job at driving down, and he's got the only touchdown on the board for the Washington State Cougars. So this is one of those defensive battles I wasn't necessarily expecting, only for 103 yards, but the most critical one was that interception.
Washington State had 4 possessions inside Cal territory in the first half. Had 7 points to show for it, a rushing touchdown from Jalen Jenkins, the only touchdown of this game. And Cal getting a field goal from Dario Longetto. That's been it. It's been the defenses that have told the story in this one, as Washington State will have it at the 25. To begin the second half, the teams combined 9 tackles for loss.
Right.
And Washington State leads the country in tackles for loss, and Cal's a really good defensive team as well.
That's not that, you know, that surprise is not the one that stands out. Just the inefficiencies of the offenses, especially coming off of what Cal was able to do in Tucson last week with Jaden Ott running the ball so successfully, and then more importantly what we've seen Washington State do throughout the season as far as scoring.
Ryan Peters in motion. Cameron Ward throwing on first down. It's caught. And out near the marker should be a first down to Donovan Ollie.
This combination has worked for the Cougars throughout the game today. You have the hook, and you also have the short route, which is the flare route, and you have the deep corner. It's the second time they were able to complete the hook for some big chunks of yards.
Ward, who started 10 for 12, finished the first half, completing 2 of his last 6. And gets a first down in the first play of the third quarter. And now we'll take a deep shot down the field, and it's caught inside the 20. And Renard Bell is fired up.
I mentioned earlier in the broadcast how if you're a quarterback and you go empty set, you want to take advantage of wide receivers on safeties or running backs on linebackers. That time Bell takes advantage of Daniel Scott, who's listed as a safety. Was pretty good coverage, but a nice ball by Cam Ward to drop it right in the breadbasket for Bell to catch it.
47 yards to Renard Bell. His longest reception of the season at the Cal 17. Cam Ward, play action. Ward under pressure, trying to escape, and he just throws it away. Got outside the tackles. And that's why there's no grounding, even though no receiver was in the area.
The ball crossed the line of scrimmage. Second
Good man
down.
coverage that time, Roxy, by the Bears defense. You'll see the pressure coming around Ward after the play action. With max protection, there's only a limited amount of guys who are going out for a pass. Good pressure that time by the Bears.
Uelu Iosefa was there with Miles Jernigan putting the pressure on Cam Ward. Second down and 10 at the Cal 17. Early third, the Cougars looking to go up 2 scores. Ward fires over the middle, caught, touchdown, Robert Farrell.
Now this is what we've seen Cam Ward do time and time again. That accuracy of inside the pocket. You give him a clean pocket, he will pick you apart, especially with this receiving core. Look at that dart. It's on a line drive to Farrell in the end zone, right between the linebacker and the safety. It's really hard for the defense to recover when your quarterback is accurate like that.
Terrific drive for Washington State. In just over a minute, they go 75 yards. And Cameron Ward, his first touchdown pass of the day, is 11th on the season. And he finds Robert Farrell, the second touchdown for Farrell, who, again, came with Ward from Incarnate Word, where their offense coordinator, Eric Morris, was the head coach at Incarnate Word. And Morris, a former assistant at Washington State under Mike Leach. Dean Janikowski for the extra point. And Janikowski knocks it through, and it's 14-3. Washington State, a terrific start for the Cougs in the second half.
And just like that, the Washington State Cougars march down the field. The accuracy of Cam Ward to Farrell in the end zone after the lick puts them up big.
Time for Nonstop Life, presented by Allegiant Air. And what a start for Cam Ward in the second half.
The quick strike, you see how Cam Ward looks off the safety, knows that he's got Daniel Scott on his wide receiver streaking down the field. Nice strike, but this is the pay dirt right there. That inside slant to Farrell, that strike you put on the inside of the shoulder, way to go for the Cougs, marching down the field right away after taking the opening kickoff and getting us a touchdown.
The big play for Washington State today, and now a 14-3 lead for the Cougars. And the red shirts, the young guys, they're jacked right now. And Colton Thinker will kick it off. Back to return Maven Anderson for California. Would be surprised if he gets a chance here, considering the way the kickoffs have been. And yep, another one through the back, out to the 25 for Cal.
Now the big test for the Cal Bears to see if they can answer with their quarterback Jack Plummer, you see right there. They need to get a sustained drive, even though that drive for Wazoo didn't take a lot of time off the clock. They want to put a sustained drive because they haven't had a whole lot of success moving the football past the Wazoo 50.
When Cal got their lone points, a Dario Longetto field goal in the first half, they went 51 yards in 8 plays. Cal ran 22 other plays outside of that drive, have a total of 70 yards in those 5 drives. Jack Plummer from the Cal 25. And they'll run it with Jaden Ott straight ahead, and he's bottled up after a gain of 3, maybe 4. Francisco Mauing-Oa in there with Deion Henley as well, and the safety Jaden Hicks coming up.
You know, Roxy, you normally when offensive lines are playing against defensive lines that like to do a lot of slants and angles, you kind of try to, as an offensive lineman, try to use the defensive guys' momentum against them. If they're working down inside, push them inside, just try to clear out the hole. You don't try to get in front of them and stop them.
This is not a big defense, but they're certainly quick and active. Again, it's Ott on second down, and he runs right into Deion Henley. And then driving forward, gets the 31 to bring up 3rd and 4. Also into the tackle for Washington State was Ron Stone Jr., and he's been off to a slow start for Washington State. They're trying to get him going. He only has 1 sack so far, but offenses are paying so much attention to Stone, it's benefited everybody else.
Well, the redshirt junior has to learn how to beat double teams and has to know that he's going to be a focal point of many offenses. With the success that he's had rushing the quarterback, they're not going to leave a lot of one-on-ones with him.
Blitz coming. Here comes Stone after Jack Plummer, who gets rid of it incomplete.
And there's that outside rush that Stone does so well, beating Sessions, the right tackle, up the field. Usually when a quarterback is going out of the gun snap, and there's an intersecting point. But if that tackle gets beat away right away, in that case, Plummer did, and you saw Marsh coming off the other side, it's really hard for the tackle to recover. More importantly, there's nowhere for the quarterback to go just to run for his life.
The 4th 3 and out for Cal today, and now Stone will not get credit for a sack. He will get credit for a hurry.
Pressure, yeah.
And that pressure forced the incompletion, and now Cal will punt it with Sheehan. Robert Farrell standing on the Cougar 25 to return is Sheehan. With an end-over-end, Farrell moving toward the sideline, and he runs out of bounds shy of the 35, and the Cougs get the football back up 14-3 early in the 3rd quarter. Still to come on our Pac-12 slate for this Saturday. Game 3 of our tripleheader on Pac-12 Network. Colorado and Tucson to take on Arizona. Arizona State against the USC Trojans. 7:30 kick at the Coliseum for number 6 USC and ASU. And then Stanford and the 13th ranked Ducks close it out at Austin Stadium tonight. Cougs with the ball at their own 35 as Ward was 3 for 4 on the last drive for 75 yards and a touchdown pass to Farrell. And they'll run it on 1st down, and Nakia Watson is spun around by Jackson Sermon. The first Cal defender there gets help from Muelu Iosefa, the junior from Mililani, Hawaii. Look at the Pac-12 standings, and the Bruins with their win last night, now 2-0. SC is 2-0. Utah now 2-0 with their big win against Oregon State and Salt Lake City earlier today. Cal 1-0 in Oregon with their win here last week, 1-0, hosting again Stanford tonight. 2nd and 6, down the sideline, incomplete, trying to get it to Dejon Stribling as he went tumbling into the Cal sideline and appeared to take out one of the Cal coaches down there as Ward's pass sailing out of bounds, and was that Bill Musgrave?
I was trying to see if it was. It's hard to tell. We saw the back. Is that Coach Musgrave? Offensive coordinator? Still can't tell from the side.
Well, he's used to taking hits. He played quarterback for a long time.
Yeah.
And penalty marker is down. This will go against Washington State.
Full start, number 12 offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Robert Farrell guilty of the false start, so it backs Washington State up to 3rd and 11. But keep in mind, the Cougars have had success in situations like this today. 3rd and long hasn't necessarily been their nemesis today.
Yeah, but Cal really needs to get a stop here to get the ball back to its offense, maybe slow some of the momentum that the Cougs have had since they started this half.
Jalen Jenkins, the running back. Cameron Ward has all day to throw, then casually launches to midfield. Robert Farrell first down into Cal territory. Ward had an eternity to throw the football.
Well, because you know the Bears only rushed 3 and they had a spy assigned for Cam Ward, but you've got to get pressure on the quarterback. You can't allow him to sit back and survey like that.
Washington State, after a 22-yard gain, goes quick. Again, Ward all day to throw. Now finally chucks it away as Jaden Roberts was coming up on.
Quarterback was out of the pocket, the ball across the line of scrimmage.
Ward.
Second down.
You know, Roxy, it really is an unfair burden when you drop 8, as the Bears decided to do. They want to play coverage because you put a lot of stress on your secondary. There's only so long that you can run around. The receivers have the advantage. They know where they want to go. The quarterback has all the time in the world to survey down the field. And that's why you see Farrell so tired. That was a lot of running around for that young man.
And then you said Ward just kind of stood there for
back
a
there,
while.
Had a cup of coffee, read the paper.
2nd and 10, Ward to the outside. And stepping out of bounds, a short gain. That's Josh Meredith, the catch.
Ward wishes he has this one back because Meredith was wide open in the flat. Take a look at 84 going in motion. Now watch at the top of the screen. There are no white shirts around him. They clear out. And if Ward was able to keep him in bound, Meredith would still be running.
3rd and 5. I'm assuming this has to be 4-down territory if they don't get it on 3rd.
Right now you're having success on 3rd down. Better hope the Bears decide to blitz or get some pressure on Ward.
And they'll run, and Jalen Jenkins picks his way 1st down. Daniel Scott brought him down to the 30. And a rushing play that was effective for Washington State. Those have been few today.
You're right about that, and that hole opened up something nice right in the middle of that defensive line. Good job by the big boys up front. Whenever you have a safety like Daniel Scott making a tackle, you know you're doing a good job because you're blocking the front 7 of the opposing defense.
Cougars on the move again inside the California 30. And the inside screen, Ryan Peters inside the 25, down near the 20. A nice 1st down pickup for Washington State.
And Peters just put his head down after he caught the football because there was a gang of white shirts around him.
2nd and 2. Faking the pitch. Carlton in the face. Ward escapes. Still looking downfield. Cameron Ward cuts it back to the other sideline and throws an interception in the end zone. 2nd interception thrown by Ward, ill-advised pass. Although Cal, with Craig Woodson, the interception.
Is an interception by the defense. Ball will be placed at about the 2-yard line.
You know, this
momentum carried him out of the end zone.
Yeah, this is an instance where your quarterback just gets a little too full of himself. And Cam Ward is on the scramble. You don't need to throw this football, but you put it up. Woodson comes away with the interception. Turnover.
So Cam Ward, who had a lot of ground to cover, he ran about 50 to 60 yards, sideline to sideline just about.
But you just don't need to throw that ball. And I know he has his head in his hands, but look, when you have this time, you make a great escape move right there. You don't need to throw. You don't need to force it. get out of bounds, save yourself for another play. Running to your right and throwing back is almost as very hard for any quarterback. Just don't need to do this. This is unfortunate. This is a little too much arrogance, in my opinion, Roxy.
Maybe too much confidence in his ability to make a play, and we've seen him be a tremendous playmaker for Washington State. So now in all 5 games, Washington State has turned it over at least 2 times. And Cal backed up to their own 2. Jack Plummer in the handoff, and Jaden Ott bursts through the line, cuts it back. Ott, an impressive first down run, a gain of 18 out to the 20 before finally Sam Lockett brought him down.
Well, the Cougs did get some penetration initially, but Ott made a great play. And look at the white shirts that sustained their blocks. Getting him to the second level, Sam Lockett's not able to bring him down.
That is only the 6th first down for Cal in this game. From the 20, Jack Plummer over the middle, and it's incomplete, trying to get it to Jermaine Terry.
It really is a difficult pass for quarterbacks in any league to complete. When you have a seam route, look, but you got to try to put it between the linebacker and get it down before the safety. Cougars were had a 3 deep, didn't want to get beat deep. Those seam routes will come open, but it's really hard. You got to get the right placement, and they have to be very accurate when you're throwing that ball.
And it was just a bit behind Jermaine Terry, the tight end. Pistol look for Cal. 2nd and 10. Plummer is 12 for 18 today, and they'll run it with Jaden Ott. And he's to the outside. Ott steps out of bounds. First down. Jaden Hicks forced him out. But here is the Pac-12's leading rusher getting more involved on this drive.
And you're seeing the Cougars defense start to lull asleep a little bit. In the first half, they were porous. They were getting penetration. You see the Bears offensive line did a good job. See Cedric finish a block. Getting on the outside of the perimeter where there was no Cougars in defense. Jaden Ott gets a first down.
From the Cal 31 after a pickup of 11. And Plummer keeps it on the move, throwing, and it's caught and into Washington State territory. Monroe Young with a first down and a creative play, and Plummer rolling away from his strong side.
Another wrinkle to the run pass option. The quarterback's going out to his left. If the wide receiver has a step on the defender, you're able to throw it, and it still has to be an accurate pass. Good job, good execution that time.
At the Washington State 47, this drive began at the California 2. And they'll run it with Jaden Ott. Another big hole. Penalty marker is down as Ott is near a first down, but this is in the area of holding, and in the area probably the center, Brian Driscoll.
Mothershed has to be made aware by his umpire. There's a flag down. And the body language by the Cal Bears, I think it is right. It's only go against them because they're backing up. Their offense is backing up.
Holding, number 60, offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
It was that great stretch and that Driscoll was doing coming out of the half, but watch the center in the middle of the screen. Yeah, that's a hold and a takedown. It's easy.
10-yard penalty backs it up to the Cal 44. The line to gain is the Cougars 37.
And this has sort of been the nemesis for the Cal Bears. Every time they've made some strides forward, some mishap or some loss of yards pushes them back.
So it's 1st and 19 because the holding occurred a yard in front of the line of scrimmage. Jack Plummer throws, and Jaden Ott the catch, and he's hauled down near midfield by Francisco Mauing-Oa for Washington State. And the first down completion getting some of that yardage back.
Good tackle by Mauing-Oa in open space against the real shifty Jaden Ott. Second down and 14 coming up. Just want to get a chunk of the yards back. 6-7 yards, try to make it a manageable third down situation. Can't ill afford to go backwards though now that you're at midfield.
2nd and 14. Motioning out to Carlos Brooks at running back. Plummer steps up to avoid the rush, lobs it downfield. Looking for Jeremiah Hunter, trying to adjust for it and couldn't make the catch. Ball was a bit underthrown. Sam Lockett, the safety, coming over to help out. As for Washington State, Shaw Smith-Wade in coverage.
I know Jack Plummer was trying to take the long shot, but then again, just not enough space to get that ball in there. Very fortunate it wasn't a turnover. As you mentioned, Lockett had a shot at it. Hunter tried to come back for the football. Maybe even try to get a pass interference call, but nothing.
But Lockett does have the right to go for the football like he did. There was some contact, but Lockett is able to do that as long as he's going for the football. Empty backfield for Jack Plummer. And pass complete into Cougar territory to the 45 as J. Michael Sturdivant brought down immediately by Francisco Mauigoa. And the impressive thing also, very minimal run after catch for Cal receivers.
Agree. That is a good point. Yeah, I've noticed that the Cougars and both defenses have really made an effort after the ball is caught or they give up a reception of bringing down the receiver, the ball carrier almost immediately. You know, Jaden out in this drive did have a couple breakout runs and stuff like that, but for the most part, it hasn't been running rapid.
Jamison Sheehan will punt. And lets this one go. End over end. Cal will try to down it. Takes a backward bounce, and Cal downs it near the 10. Hustling down there for the Golden Bears is backup linebacker Blake Anzalatis. And Washington State backed up, but Jack Plummer not happy, frustrated. Cal's only got 3 points. Financial and a big day for Robert Farrell for Washington State.
Might not be big, listed at 5'8", 175 pounds, but he knows this offense, and he's got a good chemistry with Cam Ward, the quarterback. It's come through for him a number of times. And this is why he was exhausted. One time we saw him on the sideline after running around for 5-6 seconds before he caught the football. He's like, okay, can I get a sub, somebody, please?
130 all-purpose yards for Farrell today. This drive, the worst field position for Washington State to start a drive, as Jalen Jenkins to the outside is shoved out by Craig Woodson after a first down carry.
You know, we were talking about the last drive and how the Bears were able to get past midfield of the Cougars. There's going to have to be a time as the game pushes on. They're still in it by no stretch of imagination, two possessions out, but they've got to make some plays once they get on the other side of the field against this Cougars defense.
2nd and 5 is Cam Ward in no hurry. Surveys the field. Inside 5.5 to go, third quarter. Ward here on 2nd down. On the move, coming back, Renard Bell spins, first down, gets away from Colin Gamble, is shoved out of bounds. And a nice pickup and moving the sticks, Washington State.
There's just nothing that your defense can do. If you cannot generate a pass rush to keep a quarterback contained, and you see the fact that Bears are running some games, some stunts up front with their men crossing around. Man-on-man, deep safeties. You don't want to give up a deep play. Really nothing you can do if you're a Cal defender in that situation.
We mentioned Farrell also coming from Incarnate Word with Cam Ward. He began his college career as a walk-on in Nevada. Then went to junior college, and Incarnate Word now at Washington State, and finding a hole. And a first down catch out across the 40. Donovan Ollie with the grab.
And Roxy, the Cougars have had success with this sort of layer run pass game, I should say. Short route, intermediate route, long route. Farrell was running the deep corner. They come back to the hook route once again to touch this Bears defense.
Out to the 42-yard line for Washington State. Taking the handoff, and the pass out to Leighton Smithson, brought down shy of midfield by the true freshman Jeremiah Irby. There is a penalty marker back near the line of scrimmage.
Ineligible receivers outfield, number 52, offense, 5-yard penalty, full first down.
That's Jared Kingston, the culprit. A lot of times when you have the RPO run pass option, offensive linemen are blocking a run play. That's the initial one that you called in the huddle. It's up to the discretion of the quarterback to pull that ball out and throw it to a receiver. The offensive linemen don't know that. So that's why a lot of times they're trying to get their blocks on the first and second levels.
Wipes out the play. 1st and 15 back at the Cougars 37. In motion, Andre Dollar. Ward slings that one in there, and Dejon Stribling first down into Cal territory.
And that time the Cougars had Stribling open on the post route or slant route. They even had Farrell open on the corner route. It really was Cam Ward where he wanted to go with the football. You see him beating Colin Gamble, who tried to stretch his arm out, maybe knock that ball down. Another accurate pass by that young man to Stribling.
At the 45 of California, so the Cougs cross the midfield line. Handoff, and Jackson Sermon wraps up Jalen Jenkins after a short game. Sermon, the son of Cal defensive coordinator Peter Sermon, the grad transfer from Washington, leading tackler on this Cal defense. Honorable mention all Pac-12 last year for UW. And Peter Sermon could not have been more complimentary of Jimmy Lake and Bob Gregory for coaching and mentoring Jackson along the way. But now that Jackson Sermon's playing for Cal, it's made it a lot easier for the Sermon family on game day Saturday.
I bet.
Peter's wife, Jackson's mom, doesn't have to worry about, okay, where am I going for the game this week? And the handoff, and grab before he could get going. Good surge from Cal, and Braxton Croto getting into the backfield. And it's 3rd and long for Washington State.
You know, Washington State had mentioned that they wanted to make a conscious effort to run the football. And what I've seen so far, they've had some flashes at times. Obviously, Jenkins scoring the touchdown earlier was part of the run game, but for the most part, they're having some issues with their assignment, their blocking assignments. They're not as clean as getting up to the next level and knowing who they got to block. I've seen a lot of white jerseys around the football that should be blocked by someone in a red jersey.
3rd and 9 for Washington State. Cal rushing 4 this time, and a bullet incomplete. Looking again for Dejon Stribling, as Lamontia Hearns there in coverage along with Craig Woodson, the safety, coming over, and the drive stalls, and the Cougs will have to punt it away.
Another skinny post. Let's see the pressure this time. The Cal's driving, just pushing the pocket. See number 92 there.
Miles Williams with the pressure. Now, Cal's got 2 Miles Williams on the defense, by the way. One is M-I-L-E-S and the other is M-Y-L-E-S.
I'm glad you figured that out. Here's a
trouble with the snap, and a penalty marker is down. They blow it dead. Could be an illegal snap.
It's going to bail him out.
Illegal snap, number 34, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Kyle Smith would like this double pump.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a double hitch, a little bit of double pump. He tries to pull it back.
Please reset the game clock to 1:25. 1:25. Thank you.
I guess you can't do that. You can't fake it and pull it back and do it again.
They bid on the pump fake.
Yeah, he bid on the pump fake.
Maybe he's running hoops yesterday with the Cougs, and I was over at their practice
Wazoo was
basketball
fortunate,
team.
yeah, that this penalty happened, or it would have been a big turnover for the Cal Bears.
Fair catch. Jeremiah Hunter makes it right near the 10. And late here in the 3rd quarter, up 14-3, Washington State gives the football back to California. And we mentioned Washington State basketball. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention it's been a tough few weeks for the Cougar program with the news coming out regarding Deshaun Jackson, their big man, their talented big man, and then Miles Rice, terrific kid. I talked to Miles at their practice for a while yesterday. As Miles Rice, recently diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, is beginning treatment. He's in really good spirits. And this was Deshaun Jackson's letter to the Washington State community after a medical issue here over the summer. And so Deshaun Jackson and Miles Rice, we send our best wishes to 2 terrific young players and 2 terrific young kids here at Washington State. As Plummer incomplete, trying to dump it off to Elijah Maharo.
There comes a time in that pass play in particular where Plummer's looking down the field. He's got the defense fooled. He's got the advantage. Stop your feet, gather yourself, and make a connection with your receiver. Throwing it in the ground does you no good. It's a waste of down.
The struggle today, it's real for Cal offensively. They have 8 first downs, and they have punted 7 times in the game. So after the offense flourished last week where Jaden Ott set a Pac-12 freshman rushing record, 274 yards. And their 49-31 win over Arizona tied the most points a Cal team had scored under Wilcox. Here is Jaden Ott in space, racing up the sideline, gets a first down, out across the 20-yard line, and a good design from Bill Musgrave to get Ott in space.
Look at Jaden Ott's performance last week and how the Cougars have held him somewhat in check, though I don't think there's been enough opportunities running the football for Jaden Ott to have tremendous amount of success. But credit the Cougars defense. They've really put the pressure on the Bears offense today.
This is an enormous drive for Cal. Late third quarter, down 14-3. First down to the 24. Empty backfield, Plummer. And he gets it to the
7% of
big third quarter for Washington State. They outgained Cal 174-88 in the third quarter. And the third down conversions have been a big story of this one for Washington State. 9 different Cougs have caught a pass, and they lead 14-3 as we start the fourth with Lincoln Kennedy. And our Pac-12 Network crew, Roxy Bernstein, with you from Pullman. Big 3rd and 5, empty backfield for Jack Plummer. Cougars bring pressure. Plummer steps up. Plummer will run. He'll get the first down. Penalty marker is down. Plummer's still going into Washington State territory, but Ben Coleman may be guilty of holding.
For every time it seems like the Cal Bears offense is taking 2 steps forward, they end up hurting themselves with something meaningless. In this case, a penalty is going to back them up and negate everything Jack Plummer just did on that last play.
Holding number 62 offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, 3rd down.
And you called it, Roxy. Let's take a look at Ben Coleman right there, number 62 at the end of the line. And he's unaware that Jack Plummer is scrambling down, but he had Mejia by the jersey. It's an obvious call for the umpire. You have to make it. And this is what's been killing the Bears offense all day.
Wipes out a 28-yard run by Plummer. So Coleman, the junior, 16th consecutive start. His dad also, Ben, played at Wake Forest in 9 years in the NFL. 3rd and 15 for Cal. Kalecki Latu motions. Cougars rush 4. Plummer over the middle. It's caught, first down. Out near midfield, Jeremiah Hunter on a 3rd and long conversion for California.
Hunter gets the opportunity to run the deep in cut. Nice pocket set up by the offensive line of the Bears. Clean pocket. You see the deep in cut right over the linebackers in between the safeties in the corner. It's a nice pitch and catch.
30 yards to Jeremiah Hunter. And a much needed first down for Cal. Plummer pumps. Hit as he throws. Launching downfield. Again for Hunter. Makes the catch. Inside the 10. 1st and goal. Brennan Jackson clobbered Plummer as he got rid of it. Back-to-back huge receptions for Jeremiah Hunter.
Now you got to just imagine this is a breakdown in coverage. Should not happen. You see Plummer take the shot, but it cannot be coverage where Hunter comes that wide open on the 2nd level. Lockett's the safety is a little late getting over there. 1st and goal for the Bears.
49 yards from Plummer to Jeremiah Hunter. Jaden Ott, the running back, and the Pac-12 rushing leader into the end zone. Touchdown, California.
Good job by the Bears to capitalize on the big plays and put it in the end zone. Looks like Plummer signaling they want to go for 2.
Down 5 here early in the 4th. It would make sense.
It does make sense. It's nice blocking by the guys up front. Nice hole for Ott to run through for the touchdown.
Cal goes 90 yards in 7 plays. And 2 enormous catches for Jeremiah Hunter on this drive. And now Cal going for 2. Ott is the running back. Hunter's in the slot to the left. In motion, Maven Anderson.
0 coverage by the Cougs.
The rollout, the shovel, and stumbling in the backfield, trying to get it to Anderson. And he was tripped up, looking for the shuffle pass to Maven Anderson.
Oh, we got to back this up because you look at the 2-point conversion. It's underneath pass. A lot of people running. Tripped up by his own man.
Pac-12 Pac-12 football is presented by Paycor, the official HR software provider of the Pac-12. And brought to you by Jersey Mike's Subs. Be a sub above. And by Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve. Without a doubt, Cal's best drive of the day, and they find the end zone. 2-yard touchdown run, Jaden Ott, after 2 brilliant grabs by Jeremiah Hunter. A huge 3rd and long conversion, Jack Plummer to Hunter. And now it's a 14-9 Washington State lead, just inside 13.5 minutes remaining. Michael Luckhurst, the freshman from Santa Barbara. His dad, Mick Luckhurst, former Cal and NFL kicker. And Luckhurst sends this one, who's got a strong leg, and he shows it off. It'll come out to the 25, and here was Jeremiah Hunter on that last drive.
A couple of clutch catches from Jeremiah Hunter. You see the deep in route on the 3rd down and long after the penalty backed him up, gave him a 1st down, and then of course Jack Plummer under duress hits Hunter as he's streaking down the field now as a blown coverage by the Cougars sets him up in 1st down and goal, where they eventually scored a touchdown.
There are the numbers on Hunter. He's hiding. Doesn't want his camera time. Now he gets.
There it is.
6 catches over 100 yards for Hunter, who catches a touchdown for the 2nd consecutive game. And the Cougars on 1st down, and Cam Ward will just chuck it into the turf at the feet of Jalen Jenkins, and Cal was all over that play and didn't fall for the misdirection.
As it comes a time where we've watched this team in the past that has had leads. Of course, we know how the Oregon Ducks came back to beat them last week with a substantial lead, but you don't want to take your foot off the gas if you're Cam Ward. Decision making becomes critical here as a quarterback because you've got to keep your offense on the field.
Pressure that time from Oluwafemi Oladejo for Cal. Coming off the edge, he's upright, number 10 on the left side of the Cal defense. Now it gets into his stance. 2nd and 10. Double stacks on the receivers. Ward to the outside, Robert Farrell the catch, and he's shoved out of bounds by Jeremiah Irby with help from Jackson Sermon. And it's 3rd down for Washington State.
Ward has already established that Farrell is one of his favorite targets, throwing the ball to him a number of times today. This is a 3rd down and manageable situation for the Cougars offense. Let's see what the Cal Bears defense has to come up with. Remember the drive going the other way in the 3rd quarter. There was a number of times that Cam Ward just had an eternity back there to survey the field.
6th catch for Farrell, 3rd and 4. Cal showing blitz. Billy Revere motions. And the inside screen, Dejon dribbling, 1st down and more. Cuts it back inside, dribbling into Cal territory. Run out by Colin Gamble.
You know, Roxy, I actually thought Cal's defense had the right defense called there. They backed out to prevent the sort of tunnel screen, but it was better execution that time by the Cougars offense. Rivera gets a great block for dribbling out on the perimeter. And that's good. That's good execution. You get a chance to see that replay in a little bit. You see Cal's trying to get some fresh bodies on.
And because Washington State's Cal allowed to match, so the crew led by Michael Mothershed holds up play. At the California 37. 32 yards on that catch and run by Dejon Striblin. And Ward launches for Renard Bell for the end zone. Touchdown, Washington State.
What can he say? Bell had him beat from the beginning. Hearns, who was playing off, isolated cornerback on the outside. There's nothing he could do. It's just a well-placed ball by Ward. An even better trip by Bell to go and get the football. See Hearns trying to make up ground, just doesn't have enough time.
37 yards, and the Cougars, their 2nd 75-yard drive in 4 plays for a touchdown today. And they go back up 2 scores with 12 minutes to play. And Ward is now over 300 yards passing. And Renard Bell, 7 catches, 114 yards. Dean Janikowski for the extra point. And he nails it. 21-9, Washington State.
It's simple pitch and catch. Look at Bell run underneath the ball. Cam Ward is really another touchdown.
response from Washington State after Cal found the end zone, and Cameron Ward, 2 big throws on this drive.
It's big throws, but it's also some good good blocking by the Cougars downfield. Stribling comes through with the yards after the catch, and then they match this with this nice play. We're going to see a moment over the top. Cal was there defender-wise, just better execution and better blocking by the Cougars. And then you finish off the cap off the drive with the long pass on the outside. And there you go, Renard Bell, who's having a big day, just like Robert Farrell.
Plus the Cougars today, they're 6 for 11 on 3rd down. And reminder, Cal in the first 4 games of the year, they were the best 3rd down defensive team in the Pac-12. And they've been some challenging 3rd downs for Washington State to convert today.
And Cam Ward, who does have 2 interceptions, but also has 2 touchdown throws, showing why he's the proven leader of this Cougars offense.
Cal needs to put together another drive here with 12 minutes to go. 21-9, and here's one more look at the Ward touchdown pass to Renard Bell.
You see the single high safety in the middle of the box. Cam Ward puts this only outside where Renard Bell is going to catch it. Hearns was trying to catch up the cornerback that was in defense, but he gets beat to the outside, and it's just Renard Bell. You see the frustration of number 15 as he hits the ground.
The Cougars, who have not lost consecutive home games in the same season since 2014. And after their tough loss, giving up 29 points in the 4th quarter to Oregon last week, in position here up 2 scores in the 4th. Plummer keeps, and Plummer has nowhere to go, and Ron Stone Jr. on the edge brings down Plummer after a gain of a half a yard.
Not really sure what Plummer was looking at. If you're supposed to read the end and the run pass option, if he's feathering, which means he's not going up the field or just stand on the line of scrimmage, you're supposed to hand the ball off to your back.
2nd and 9. And they'll try the reverse, and nothing there. Brennan Jackson. And a big loss for Cal as J. Michael Sturdivant brought down for a loss of 10.
Now you're going backwards. You're going the wrong way. Try to run a little trick play with a reverse. Jackson's not having it. Coming off the edge, he's rushing the quarterback. When you're down by this amount of points, Roxy, 11 point, actually, you were talking about whether or not this team can generate points. The Cal Bears, if they can get offense, they're going the wrong way.
Washington State's defense leading the country, coming in and tackles for loss adds to their total.
12 points down. They got to make it up here. Got another 3rd down and long.
3rd of it early.
Everyone was well covered down the field for the Bears offense and Cougars defense. Again, only needing to use 4 to generate pressure. That's advantage defense in any scenario.
Jamison Sheehan will punt it from inside the 10. And the line drive wobbler, Robert Farrell, fair catch made near the Cougar 35. And with 10:06 to go, Washington State's defense doing what Jake Dickert's defense has done all year.
Well, you saw the defense respond to what their offense had kind of started at the momentum. Defense picks up the slack, forces a 3-and-out.
Big day also for Jaden Hicks at safety with 10 tackles and doing a nice job stepping in for Jordan Lee, who's a little banged up, as they hand off Nakia Watson straight ahead. And he is brought down by Nate Burrell.
Tip your hat off to the Cougars defense. You see what they were able to do for today. The big one is right there. 44 leads the FBS tackle for losses. And the number of forced punts. It's been lights out for this defense.
Second down and 6 for Washington State. Here's Ward, 3-man rush. Underneath, Donovan Ollie. First down out to the 45. Just settled down, found a spot, and moves the chains for Wazoo.
Smart play by Ollie, just sitting right in the center of the zone. Cam Ward wanted to go over to his right since he took the snap. He knew he wanted to probably either go to Ollie or go to his tight end on the outside, Andre Dollar.
Nakia Watson through the line, and Watson breaks a tackle. Watson Tripped up as he gets inside the 35. Oluwafemi Oladejo with a touchdown saving tackle for Cal.
The most successful run, Roxy, that I can remember the Cougars having. It's a simple trap on the inside. You see the red shirts kind of just create a nice little lane for Watson to run to. There's a body on a body, a hat on a hat. Woodson has a bad angle trying to come up and make the tackle.
23 yards for Watson, the longest run for Washington State today. They've run for just 46 yards, so that was half their total of the day. At the Cal 32. And Jalen Jenkins cuts it inside, finds a lane. Jenkins inside the 15. Craig Woodson with the tackle. Another run for a first down.
And now it's just a case of the defense being worn down. Back-to-back big gashes by the Cougars offense. Crimson and Gray do a good job at blocking the box, forcing the safety once again to make the tackle. This time Woodson is able to bring down the back, but still another big chunk of yards.
So after 0 rushing yards in the first half, Washington State now with 66 in the second half. At the 12-yard line. Kia Watson stumbles through the line. Dragon tacklers inside the 5.
See how many Bears missed tackles in the hole? That's just a worn-out defense. Playing a lot, especially in the second half. Not really having a lot of support from their offense. 1, 2, 3, and he's taking people in the end zone.
Spinning out of a tackle is Watson, but Cal ready to stand him up. And to the 2-yard line, and they had Cal on their heels and trying to take advantage of it with Watson. Approaching 7 minutes to play. Washington State up 21-9 and knocking on the door for more points. 2nd and goal.
Cougars bringing another tight end. Try to get a little bit bigger.
An extra offensive lineman in the game also for Washington State. And Ward to the outside, slings it, and Renard Bell steps out of bounds before extending the football. And it's at the 1-yard line. It'll be 3rd and goal.
That's a good play by Irby, the defender. And actually, see the stretch? Oh, he's out of bounds. He's out of bounds. And Cougar fans, Gamble did a good job of pulling him out of bounds. Bell was trying to stretch for the pylon. He was already out of bounds. Foot was out of bounds.
Colin Gamble stretching it out and shoving Renard Bell out of bounds. Third and goal at the 1. In motion, Andre Dollar. Ward rolling out with the left hand, and it's dropped. Dollar had a touchdown in his hands. Cam Ward threw that with his left hand.
That's probably why Dollar dropped it. He was surprised to see the ball come out. But rolling to your left, check it out. It's not a bad spiral for the left hand.
And the freshman nearly had his first catch go for a touchdown.
He's like, I wasn't expecting him to throw to the left, coach.
4th and goal at the 1.
It's impressive. Impressive, Ward.
Ward, he'll throw it stepping out and into the end zone. Billy Revere, touchdown, Washington State.
It's just so many weapons. So many weapons they can hit you with. You saw the previous play try to go to Dollar. It would have been a touchdown. In this case, you got Revere, who had a great block earlier in the game to bounce dribbling out for the hook. It's that red zone offense efficiency. And then what I mean by efficiency, it's getting touchdowns. This is where you put the pressure on the opposing teams. Because you're not just settling for threes, you're getting touchdowns.
The transfer from North Dakota, Billy Revere, the touchdown, the 3rd TD pass for Cam Ward today. Dean Janikowski with 6:19 remaining. And the extra point, it is good, and it's 28-9 Washington State. And Cameron Ward, 3 touchdown passes.
You see, it's just simple pitch and catch. Rivera runs to the flat, Gets his touchdown. It's just an uphill battle. Keeping the young men focused and into it is difficult, especially when you haven't been able to turn around and create confidence by winning football games.
Colton Thieker with the kickoff. Another touchback. They'll come out to the 25 for the Cal offense, and Jack Plummer with 6:19 to go. So Cam Ward now 27 of 40, 343 yards and 3 touchdowns. 10 different Cougars have at least one catch today. And his third down efficiency, that's the difference in this game. Ward is 7 for 10 for 111 yards on third down.
Yeah, you're right, Roxy. There were a couple times where it looked like the Cal Bears defense had them exactly where they wanted, but Ward was able to make plays and get out of those third down and long situations and get turnover first downs and stuff like that.
Plummer to the outside. And a catch. J. Michael Sturdivant shoved out of bounds by Derek Langford Jr., the Bay Area product from Richmond of the Bay Area, and the JC transfer from the City College of San Francisco. That's a first down for Cal out to the 36.
Now there has to be a sense of urgency, not only by Jack Plummer, but all the offensive players involved. It's not out of the reach. It's not out of the possibility realm, but you got to get a touchdown here. You got to start with 7s, one drive at a time.
The dump off to Jay Knott, dances up to the 40, and he's spun down. And Plummer took another big hit. And he is hobbling a bit,
now,
helped up by Siwape Vatikani and Ben Coleman.
Let's take a look. See Jackson making a nice move on the outside. Ooh. Saw the way his head snapped back. That's what I'm always worried about. Nice little spin move.
Brennan Jackson with the leveling of Plummer. And here comes Jackson again, and the pass incomplete to the sideline as Plummer again is picking himself up off the turf.
Well, Ben Coleman, the left tackle, should be picking him up because the second time he got his quarterback hit. You got to do a better job, number 62. Stop ducking your head. You see the internal pressure by Ron Stone, but Jackson comes over the top for the second hurry.
Boy, the quickness that Jackson comes off the edge with.
And that's why, especially the left tackle, number 62, has got to pick his head up. See the target before you try to hit. Don't reach. Don't bend at the hips. Don't show that you're tired.
3rd and 6. And the way the Cougars shuffle in, their defensive lineman keeps them fresh.
You got movement again, or a delay of game.
Delay of game. Number 13, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
That's what I was talking about earlier, Roxy, about the sense of urgency. There's got to be a time clock that's going off in your head. Hey, look, we got a couple plays, we got a first down, we got a new set of downs. Or we're talking earlier in this drive, but now instead of 3rd down and 6, you got 3rd down and 11.
7th penalty against Cal today. And it's 3rd down back at the 35. Elijah Maharo goes in motion. Pressure coming again. Plummer stumbles and goes down.
He can't run.
And you can see he's in some pain.
He can't run. The leg injury that he suffered earlier in this drive shows that he can't move. You see it's painful right now. See a little blood on that right knee.
For an injury.
And Jack Plummer hobbling off the field. And Cal does have a bye next week. Now, the significance, we have no idea what's Plummer, but we can see he's definitely laboring coming to the sideline.
Yeah, Milani gets that initial pressure up the B gap. Plummer tries to scramble, tries to move out, but you see him holding that knee as he goes into the tent. Let's hope he's okay.
Kai Milner is the backup, a redshirt freshman. He appeared briefly in the opener against UC Davis. Robert Farrell spun down, fielding the punt. And the Cougars get it back with 4:32 remaining, up 28-9. So Cal a bye week next week, then Cal will head to Boulder and play Colorado October 15th. And the Cougs will head to the Coliseum as USC entertaining Arizona State tonight. But Washington State, USC at the Coliseum next Saturday late afternoon ball game in LA.
Last time the Cougs were able to beat the Trojans in Los Angeles, 2013. Know if the Cougars are up for the challenge. We saw a good outing for them today. We've seen some with the defense, playing the way they are, Roxy. I think they might be able to give the Trojans some trouble. If they can contain that and keep that pressure up against Caleb Williams and Lincoln Riley's offense, they might be able to give the Trojans a little bit of a football game.
Cameron Ward, they'll run at Nakia Watson. He runs right into the arms of big Ricky Correa. And a short gain, and Cal may elect to take a timeout here.
That's what they do.
First timeout used by the Bears. Looking at the Cal sideline, Jack Plummer still getting looked at in that medical tent. And we can see Kai Milner, the backup, loosening up.
Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 4:22. 4:22. Thank you.
Putting 3 seconds back on the clock. While we have a moment, there's a look at Kai Milner, the redshirt freshman from Gilbert, Arizona. But this, Joe Starkey, the long-time legendary voice of Cal football on the radio, before the season began, announced this would be his final season. He's retiring in his final trip to Pullman. As the voice of the Golden Bears, he has been the radio play-by-play voice since 1975. And there is Joe, right there, with the binoculars. Of course, signature call of the play. Also was the longtime voice of the San Francisco 49ers, was double dipping with Cal and the Niners for a number of years. And Nakia Watson, the handoff, and he's brought down to be third down. And special to me as well. I've known Joe for a long time. Worked with Joe, an influence on me, listening to Cal games as a kid growing up in the Bay Area. And Joe has been synonymous with Cal football, and it's great that he's going out the way he wants to go. And just wish Joe the best in whatever path he decides to take from here. But he wants to finish this season strong, and his final trip to Pullman here today.
You and I both have experience doing radio. Of course, we're doing TV here today, but I'm doing radio for the Raiders and then calling games, and you've been doing it with ESPN, with baseball and basketball and stuff like that. And it's one of those fun mediums. You really get to enjoy being around the atmosphere because there's nothing like radio. TV sends the visual.
You get left alone in radio.
That's exactly right. So true, so true. TV paints the picture. Very first hunt, Javelina Hunt in southern Arizona, just outside of Tucson. He had an outdoor show, and it was around the time of my birthday in February. And he was like, you know, big man, I'm gonna take you on a hunt. He gave me this big 50 caliber. There's Pulaski right there to the right with the Cal hat on.
There's the rifle.
He gave me this big 50 caliber gun with this muzzle loaded caliber that just kind of blew me back. I remember when I shot it, I was like, oh man. It was a great day. Mike's a great guy, good friend.
He's really close with former Washington State coach Mike Leach.
Yes. He was telling me he was visiting with, center of that 97 team, Robbie Tolbeck, earlier. Robbie and I were teammates in Atlanta together.
Washington State will punt with Nick Haber, who's had a quiet second half. And Haber launches this one. Angled toward the sideline. And it skips out of bounds. And Cal will get the ball with just over 4 minutes to play. And a 28-9 lead for Washington State. The Cougs trying to go to 4-1 for the first time since 2018.
And is that Jack Plummer calling the plays? He's out of the tent?
He is.
He is. He's going to lead this Cal offense. Don't see necessarily any tape around that leg, which is a good sign.
I don't see much of a hitch in his giddy up right now.
No, you're right.
And now he clutched at that knee as he went down in that last sequence. The Plummer back out there. Cal from the 32. And Plummer today 22 of 31. 264 yards, moving up, hit again. J. Michael Sturdivant to the outside, and a stiff arm for a first down goes up against Armani Marsh. And they're going to spot it back at the 41, just a 9-yard gain, 2nd and 1.
Jack took some more pressure up from the front four of this Cougar defense. Was able to get rid of the football, but you see how he came awkwardly down on that leg, even slower to get up.
And stumbling Ott. Did he catch it? He did. And it's a first down to the 45. The officials right on top of the play as falling to the ground, but Jaden Ott hung on.
Did he really catch it? Because this was going down. He tripped as he was trying to make the move. Looks awfully close. Let's see if they want to review that.
Did it hit grass?
I don't. It kind of looked like it did. But they're not whistling. Now they're whistling. Going to review it.
It's been a quiet day for the replay crew up here, and now they buzz down with 3:13 to go.
The ruling on the field is a completed pass for a first down. Previous play is under further review.
So this official review brought to you by Chime, as the booth will chime in now for the first time today.
I think that ball just skipped the turf right there. It's kind of hard to tell, but you know what I can appreciate though, Roxy? Jalen Ott had the wherewithal to get up and think that he could run after he caught it. Man, you're down in college football,
so
you save that for Sunday. He's getting ready for Sundays. He's projecting. I like that. Look at him. He's about to make a move.
The play has
tried
been
to get
reviewed,
that hand.
and the pass is incomplete. It will be third down.
So this is part of the replay system this year, a little bit new, whereas the quick review, where if they're looking for one component in a play, instead of having Michael Mothershed, a referee, come over to the side and go to the monitor, our replay officials can handle it, and they will tell in the ear Michael Mothershed no catch, like they just did.
Third down and short.
And a handoff, and Jaden Ott will run for the first down. And that'll move the sticks for Cal with 3:07 to go.
And I think we've seen the last of Jack Plummer, because Milner's coming in the game. Smart. I mean, the game's over. You're not going to be able to come back and score, successfully enough, consistent enough touchdowns to get yourself, save your quarterback. You still had a long season to go.
So Kai Milner, quarterback, in his first career pass, a completion to Kaleki Latu to midfield. So Milner, the 6'2" redshirt freshman, highly recruited prospect from Higley High School down in Gilbert, Arizona. His dad, Dwayne, a former NFL scout and a trainer. Second down for Milner. And he'll send it down the left sideline looking for Tommy Christakos. And it's incomplete. Went wide of the receiver, Derek Langford, in coverage of the junior Christakos.
Yeah, there's Plummer sitting on the sideline now, just frustrating day. There were flashes. You look at the numbers. No interceptions, but also no touchdown passes. So you want to have a couple of opportunities back.
And he's got an extra week to get ready because Cal has a bye before they head to Folsom Field in Boulder to take on the Buffs. They're down from the Cougar 49. Milner, and it's incomplete, coming up onto Carlos Brooks. Shaw Smith-Wade hitting the running back when the ball got there.
Classic case.
Fourth down, Cal has to go.
Well, Rox is a classic case where Smith-Wade, who was playing cover 2 corner, who's responsible for the flat, was just reading Milner's eyes, made a play on the ball just as Milner released it. That's why he got there the same time the ball did to the receiver, would-be receiver.
Milner to the outside, and it's incomplete, looking for Maven Anderson. Coming over to break it up, Sam Lockett for Washington State, and with 2:13 remaining, the Cougs can run out the clock, and they'll be 4-1 for the first time since 2018 and get their first conference win.
Cal is out of timeouts. Anderson tried to make a play on the ball from Milner. Lockett made a better play, knocking it away. Good defense by number 0.
The adjustments on the offensive line for Washington State in the second half, and they had 0 yards rushing at halftime. Second half, look, it's not great, but they ran for 85. They did not surrender a tackle for loss to Cal. Did you notice anything different up front for the Cougars?
Well, they got to work better on pass protection, that's for sure, because I didn't expect to see as many hits on Plummer that they had today. I like where they're heading. I like where they're leading offensively, especially with the line. I think they've got a good combination. Now they just need to put a steady game plan together where they can bolster confidence.
And a knee for Cameron Ward. So the Cougs again will take their 4-1 record, 1-1 in the conference, head to LA, take on the Trojans next Saturday. Then a couple of weeks they'll be in Corvallis before a bye in Utah. Comes up to the Palouse on a Thursday night. Jake Dickert in Washington State. The Cougs will go to 4-1. And unlike last week, they were able to finish it off with a fourth quarter lead. Oregon came back last week. I think the Cougs learned how to finish a football game, and they did it today on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, they did. They really did take care of business. And, you know, in spite of the turnovers by Ward, you know, they were able to overcome the big plays that they gave up to Cal. And more importantly, it showed the efficiency of their offense. And their defense, by the way, is worth mentioning because they came through. They put some pressure on Plummer today, making it really hard for him to do what he wanted to do in the backfield.
So we're inside a minute, and the Cougars in no hurry. And a play clock down to 10. Cam Ward today, 343 yards, 3 touchdowns, was able to overcome the 2 interceptions. And Ward will roll it out, go to a knee, and they will not have to snap it again. And that will be the final play in Washington State. A 28-9 victory over California. And the Cougars with a strong second half. And it seemed that first drive of the second half, they found the rhythm, Lincoln, and that's what jump-started that second half.
That really set a lot of momentum for this Cougars team going forward, coming out and starting that half that way, because now you put the pressure on Cal's offense, who's been struggling all day and only seen some small flashes of success.
So Ward with 3 touchdowns, a big day as well for Renard Bell.